So it turns out I was visited last night, and I was probed. I was probed last night, and it wasn't the aliens. Ain't no aliens probing me. Ain't no aliens probing me. I know who did it. I know who did it. And I'm going to get in big trouble for revealing that. I could be killed for saying this. I could be killed for saying this. It was the government. The government, because they knew via the telekinetic and psychic vampires, which they have paid millions of dollars to keep an eye on U.S. citizens and citizens around the world, thanks to globalist money coming in. They paid them, and they visited me, and I've been probed. But I decided I'm going to come out here and say what I have to say anyway, because they're coming for you next. It's a mad world out there. It's a mad world. We're living in times that one might even call madness. We're living in times of madness. Do you even know what that means? I'm risking my life while you're sitting at home eating a taco and a cheeseburger. I'm risking my life while you're drinking your Coca-Cola, which is owned by one of the biggest corporations on the planet, also called Coca-Cola. Right? So, who do you think they're going to probe first? They're going to probe me. Of course they're going to probe me first. But they're going to probe you next, and I'm here to help you prevent that from happening. Because it's not pleasant getting probed. You know, I mean, maybe you don't know what getting probed even is, but it involves your anus. And it's not fun. You know, I'm using a special cream now just to, heal the wounds. And, this could take months to heal. So that being said, they're censoring everybody. They're censoring the people that they don't want you to know about. Alex Jones just got censored. Censorship. If you know anything about censorship, it starts with just one. They start with the easiest guy to censor, and they wait and they see, okay, what's the public reaction? How's the public react to that? And then from there, they move on. They see, okay, can we get away with it? Did we get away with it? Yes. Okay, now let's move up the food chain. So you start number one, the easiest guy to go, and then they just work their way down the food chain until all of a sudden, guy number 50, guy number 100, that's your neighbor. It's just regular Joe Schmo said something negative about the government. Remember that pussycat lady from Russia sung like some anti-Putin song? Next thing you know, she shipped off to Siberia. Family can't get a hold of her. Nobody can get a hold of her. She just kind of disappeared into thin air over the course of like a year or two. They eventually got her out, but that's what happened. Same thing almost happened to Tommy Robinson. He got censored. They threw his ass in jail. And he got out, but that's only temporary. And that's because he was illegally thrown in jail. There is no legal justification. But he's out now, but he's going through some legal court. His fight's not over yet. So that being said, here's the other thing. It wasn't just Alex Jones that got censored. It was on the same day. They also censored about, I believe it was 5 or 6 prominent conservatives and Republicans. But you'll never hear about that in the news because Alex Jones got all the headlines. So they did that on purpose. And this was clearly coordinated. What are the odds that every social media company on the planet, essentially, would all ban Alex Jones at the same time if they weren't coordinating together on orders via the government? So they went for him first. They're coming for me next. They got H3 already. The guy was doing a live podcast. He was just talking about the subject. That's it. Live broadcast got shut down. They're just experimenting. They're seeing what can they get away with. Jeff, Rich Boy, Bezos, whatever his name is. Anyway, I'm allowed to say that, I think. It's not a hate word, is it? Regardless, he's in bed with the CIA. They paid him $300 million. Was it $300 million? Yeah, I believe it was $300 million. Pull that up, Google it. And that's so that they can use the smart technology like Alexa to spy on people. The technology is already in there. If you have Alexa in your home right now, with a push of a button, they could be listening to you. In fact, they might already be recording everything and then just using algorithms and whatnot to find keywords. And then they would narrow in on those conversations and actually listen to those and delete the rest. They probably do that every day. I mean, that's public knowledge. This is dangerous times we're living in. Unless they unban this guy, and I don't think that they will. Like I said, this is experiment number 1. However, it might backfire on them. Because remember what happened to Barbra Streisand. It's called the Streisand effect. And what happened was back when she was, complaining about, hey, quit sending those helicopters over my house, quit viewing my property, I'm getting spied on, this and that, paparazzi this, paparazzi that. And man, ain't nobody even looking at your property, Streisand. Nobody cared about you. You're nobody. You've always been nobody. Okay, nobody cares about you so much. You're not such a large celebrity that you can have paparazzi following you around 24/7. Okay, probably half those helicopters that flew over your house were actual helicopters that you just happen to be in a popular air traffic spot. Okay, but what happened was when she started complaining about this and going all crazy, now all of a sudden everybody wanted to know, whoa, wait a minute, what's so special about Barbra Streisand's house? Like, what is it? I want to see it now too. What's it look like? What's your backyard look like? How big's your pool? Do you ever swim in the pool? How many people swim in the pool every day? How many gardeners you got? What's your garden look like? What street you on? Ooh, how many rooms you got in your house? All of a sudden, I want to know all these things. That's what happens here. So you ban Alex Jones today, and you're gonna have, his popularity is gonna go up because of that, which it already has. He's already doubled viewership. However, I do believe in this case, like Streisand, it won't last. You got to be on the popular platforms nowadays. But all this Twitter banning and shadow banning has also led Kim.com. He said he's going to start a Twitter competitor. So you need a billionaire, multi-millionaire to even start one of these things. And the problem is, anytime somebody does start one, like Instagram, they just get bought out by somebody else. Snapchat, everybody gets bought out. So if Facebook owns Instagram, you always get bought out. It's a monopoly going on. Then it's an illegal monopoly that needs to be shut down. I'm going off topic here, but Amazon, what they're doing is legal. And why what they're doing is legal is because they have one profitable business. Amazon Web Services. Immensely profitable business. Every other business, they've never made a dime. And they never will make a dime. Well, they might eventually, but that's because what they do is they take a loss on everything. They lose billions of dollars because investors keep backing them up. They put everybody out of business, which they already are. 50% of U.S. households now have Amazon Prime. So they're putting everybody out of business. And after they do that, then all of a sudden they can become profitable, raise the prices, whatever. For example, they put a lot of the bookstores out of business. They're putting Chapters, Indigo out of business, left, right, and center. They're putting Barnes & Noble out of business. The physical bookstores, that is. And now, guess what Amazon's starting to do? They're starting to open their own physical brick-and-mortar bookstores. They're opening their own brick-and-mortar convenience stores. They're opening their own brick-and-mortar grocery stores. Because they're putting everybody else out of business, they can now do that. which is illegal. So what's illegal about that is when you have one business that does nothing but lose money and you compensate it with a profitable business. So they take all the losses from the unprofitable business and they carry those losses over to the profitable business. Now they don't have to pay any taxes, and the profitable business keeps afloat the rest of the business. Helps to keep afloat the unprofitable business. And the reason why the government puts a stop to those monopolies in the past, they'll break up monopolies, that's part of their job, is because these unfair trade practices put companies out of business and they create one global monopoly. So if Amazon wanted to, they could put every company on the planet out of business if they wanted to. And maybe that's their goal. You know, if this continues for another 100 years, that's what you're going to get. So, you know, censorship is coming. Alex Jones was the first. It was well timed. It's right before the midterm elections. They're pissing their pants because, you know, Donald Trump's popularity is at all-time highs. Even with corrupt Hillary trying to win 6 states via hacking, which was already released and known information by Homeland Security, they tried to stop her. They stopped her in 1 state. She ended up winning an extra 5. You know, even with that, she still lost because nobody expected the tidal wave that happened. And hopefully they're trying to put they are trying to put a stop to the tidal wave that's going to be happening in November. And they're, you know, relying on dirty tactics, and part of that is as much censorship as possible. So that being said, if you don't want this to get taken off, you don't want to be censored, you don't want to be ruled by Amazon, and you don't want to get probed. It's not pleasant. I was probed. If you don't want to get probed, leave a comment below. Tell me why you don't want to get probed. Because I could get it arranged if you do. I could get you a probing if you really want one. I have connections to do that. But leave a comment below and hit the subscribe button if you don't want to get probed.